everyone, we're LDG. I'm Liz. Keep on trucking. You're Kitty, right?
Yeah, and I'm Kitty.
There we go. Way to roll with the punches, Liz.
So that's pretty much what our playthroughs have been like these past few times of trying to record them.
A hot, steamy mess.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the camera hates us.
Apparently.
Not want to be our friend.
But we do have some actual thoughts about Roman Roll because we've played it a lot lately.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 or 5 times for you and I, and now 2 times for us all as a group with Lizzy.
So I'm actually going to let Liz kick it off since she was very non-receptive to a Roman Roll until we kind of forced her into it.
Rolling, right?
Yes,
I
do not like rolling.
Literally what it's been like. She wasn't very receptive to rolling things or writing things. So Liz, what do you think?
Well, it is a very good game, actually. You don't really feel like it is a roll and write. You have a lot of crunchiness that you're trying to do. You're trying to build these buildings, which they're pretty, which by the way, this is a prototype. Well, pictures printed of a prototype. They have the prototype on their side. But
it's a print and play of a roll and write that's actually a Euro that we took pictures of to send to you. Yeah, it's perfect.
There's layers to it.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I mean, all of the cards are really, they say how they form. They say what they do, what you need. I mean, that part's nice. It makes it feel like a real game.
Yeah, and I really agree with you when you say doesn't feel like a roll and write. It doesn't at all. It almost feels like those are just the actual writing mechanic is just a replacement for fiddly bits like resources and tiles for the map, which I know you stated, Liz, that you kind of wanted fiddly bits.
I don't like writing because you have to write your resources down. I don't like writing them in this little area. I would rather take a cube or a nice little chunky bit and just plop it down.
I do agree with you on that. We might rob some of the Concordia pieces to have as wood and iron.
Yeah, I totally agree too. I mean, I can't...
Playing Concordia next, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I hope so.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, I can't count how many times I just smeared off something because I was writing it in my shed. So
she said she smeared it off so that she could write a couple extras. What she did.
Yeah, she needs a couple more fishes.
I do like writing, or not writing, but drawing the actual building tiles because it does cut down on having a big bulk. You would need a ton of actual tiles to make up all the different variations you could have.
Yeah, or translucent that you can flip, but then claiming them as yours would be really hard.
Yeah, so I do like that it cut down on that.
For sure. It also really quick reminded me of like one of our favorite roll and writes, cartographers.
Yeah, I was about to say, I had it on the tip of my tongue. You have said it so much these past couple days.
Did it actually remind you? It took it off.
It actually did. It's just, but because, I really love like making a map from scratch. Like I get satisfaction out of that. I don't know. So I think that part's cool.
It's cool that also just the map building isn't even necessarily the primary point gaining part of the game. I mean, Liz came in and conquered everyone in the arena. She conquered everyone in the regions south of the actual map. So there's a lot of different ways, which is what I like.
Oh, yeah. And Lizzy had this really cool character that, the first playthrough, she played very much heavy into like conquering the different areas underneath the map, etc. And then the second playthrough didn't even really do that much, but still, played a great game and had a great strategy. So I think it's, really cool that you can have the same character, same public, or private advisors, and yet still have a completely new strategy that's feasible.
Yeah, and that was nice that I could play completely differently with the same person.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the expansion and the public objectives and things, Liz, you were actually shocked that those public objectives didn't come with the game because they're so integral to scoring.
Yeah, for sure. These made the game feel so much better. Like before, without them, I'd been like, this would be like a game I wouldn't want to play again. But
Yeah,
these really add some meat.
They did, like, in that the meat of like interactivity. Like, we really had to pay attention to what everyone else was doing and what they were going to vie for, swooping in like somebody and taking out advisors from underneath me.
I don't know. You know, this last playthrough, you took the 7 away from me. You beat the 7, and that's 5 points for you and 6 for me.
And I like how everyone does have their strengths with their characters. Like yours was specific to
soldiers mainly, and religious buildings, urban buildings.
Yeah, and then mine was kind of gladiator focused, and it created like this engine of giving me iron, which I could use for other things, which was nice.
Yeah, and then mine was more soldiers too.
Yeah, which is why you were so conquer heavy.
Oh yeah.
Which, speaking of the soldiers and the gladiators and the Colosseum, how do you guys feel about tic-tac-toe?
Well, I think you said it best when what you said directly after our first playthrough, how it kind of takes you out of it. Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, it's just you're playing this crunchy-ish Euro, and you're getting into it. You're moving around to these buildings. You're building them on this map, and then okay, I gotta put an X or an O on a tic-tac-toe board.
I mean, I completely agree, and I know that you actually thought it was kind of comically fine.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I agree that it does take you out of the crunchy Euro-ness of it, and that can be a little jarring, but like maybe it's the, troll in me or something that just finds it kind of funny too, that it's like you're doing these really heavy calculations in your head 1 second, and then the next second, oh, I'm going to put an X. I think it's kind of funny.
No, Kitty, you were all O's. Brixie was the troll with the X's.
I was giving kisses right and left. I don't know what you guys were doing. But yeah, I agree with you also, because I'm kind of in the middle of the two of you. I think it's jarring to have to play tic-tac-toe, but then I also like the simplicity of it. I just wish there could be like a meet in the middle situation with like maybe stamps that have the crest of the school instead. Just not having X's and O's to make you feel like you're literally playing tic-tac-toe in the middle of the game. But that's just a nitpicky.
And that would have been a really cool idea, I feel like, if you just kind of rebranded it.
And I feel like you could do that yourself. I mean, we alter games all the time. We could just draw,
For sure.
My crest is a lion. The X's are going to be lions this time. We'll try to draw a cat in here. Like, whatever works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would make it something different.
A little bit.
But it does, the gladiators in the Colosseum feel really integral to the gameplay.
Yeah, they are a massive amount of points. You cannot forget about that.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Liz was just scooping points in that first game from there, and we had to scramble to try to find ways to keep up, which is the best thing about Roman Roll, I think, is that everyone's strategies can gain them points, but you really have to fight for your points in this game.
Sometimes, yes.
I also think there's a little bit of like and I know you do this in every game, but a little bit of like your mentalist Darren Brown style thing, because you're really good at paying attention to what everyone has and like making them think you're going to go for a public advisor, but then you're not. But then you're going to think, well, maybe he thinks I'm going to do that, so I'm not.
Fine. Just tell everyone I like to manipulate people. It's fine.
You do it so well, though.
I do, and I do it charmingly the whole time.
So it works.
Yeah, but I used to be afraid of Euros, and I think this is a nice bridge into heavier territory for people who are used to light games, and it's a nice kind of more accessible version of a heavy Euro game for people who love that. Liz had to kind of force me into my first Euro.
You wouldn't even play Pandemic.
But ever since then, I had some bad experiences with Eurogamers making it too intense and scaring me away from the process, and the game is big and scary, but they don't want to explain it, and they're kind of really all about it. So I had to find the right gaming group.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to find LDG.
I mean,
Oh, wow.
quick side note, I still remember when I first went to a random gaming group and they were playing Seven Wonders, and like they were being awful to me because I never really played anything more than like whatever before.
Luckily,
And
that's
I
not.
came home.
Luckily,
Really, I just want to say, and then I came home, and then you taught me Love Letter and I think Spyfall or something. No, Code Names, and I was like, yay, I am into this.
luckily, that's not everyone in the Euro gaming group, obviously. But
No, of course not.
what we're just trying to say is that for people who have been scared off by heavy games or heavy gamers, this does feel like a light, accessible-ish version of a heavy game in the nice little sheep's clothing of a roll and write.
I don't know about sheep's clothing for a roll and write, because as far as the artwork goes, especially the board artwork, or not the board, the box artwork, I would walk right past this on the shelf. I mean, and like there are nice pictures on these cards. It's just I didn't pay attention to them during the game. Like if you were using it, there was something covering the picture so that you could see the stuff that you needed to see.
Yeah, the artwork isn't my favorite. I do like the box minus that horrible marker bridge they've created. I know what they were doing, but I don't love the marker. But the people's faces, they all look very concerned about life. They look very concerned.
Yeah. And then this guy looked super young. He looks like a teenager. What is he doing controlling the world? Or controlling Rome?
Some of it's a little uncanny valley. But other than that, nitpicking, I honestly give it a solid 9.5. Just because it's so accessible, yet it really fills you up with that gritty kind of crunchy Euro taste that you need sometimes. So I really like it.
I do too. I don't like it as much as you, but it's still, with the hating roll and writes, it's still an 8 for me. I would actually play this one again, and I actually have suggested that we play it again.
That's a great endorsement.
Okay, we might slowly corrupt you into rolling rights. And I give it an 8 for the base, and then an 8.5 with the expansion, because I do think the expansion adds so much. The new resource of iron, everything we've already talked about with the Gladiators, Colosseum, and I think that's really cool.
I'm surprised you were that close to me, Kitty. You seem to like it way more.
Hey, sometimes we have surprises with our ratings, I guess. So anyway, if anybody has any final thoughts.
That's it. That's all I got.
Yeah, I think we've spoken about everything.
Right. So until next time, just remember to have fun.
Be present.
And be you. Thank you all for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you.